So I'm back home. I've been back home for a few days now, and I had some time to reflect and wanted to catch up. How it was getting home, how what I've missed, and I want to fill you in on my trip expenses, like what I've learned, and how to get you ready for Japan, because I you definitely want to go. And so I wanted to do that, and then let you know what's in store for me next. Um, Okay, so last I left off, I was about to get on the airplane. So went back. Let's go back. I did that. The flight back home was only 9 hours. I guess it's because of maybe the winds or something helps, or which direction you're going from the Earth's rotation. So I think going there was maybe like 12 hours, and coming back home was only 9 hours. So not bad. Not only that, I left Japan at 8 p.m. on Saturday, somewhere around 8 p.m. And then I got home in California, United States, at 1 p.m. on Saturday. So I went back in time, like I gained 7 hours because I guess the day starts somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. So if you go to Japan, you lose a day, but when you come back, you gain a date in the calendar. So that was fine. My Zip Air had this time I had a meal included, a hot meal. We could ignore that. Not good. The beef bowl, not good. I don't think they have anything that will be good. So just either bring your food from the airport or just try not to eat before. Just buy water over there. Um, so my flight was fine. There was a baby right behind, maybe 2 rows behind me, a little bit to the left, that was crying nonstop, and I was okay. I mean, I feel I always bring the noise canceling headphones, just because even if I don't listen to anything, just having them over your ears and them on will block out any distracting sounds. Um, and I know as long as the parents like try to comfort their kids, um, I'm I'm more I'm very compassionate about that. Like I'm not gonna be like angry because it's a baby, and I heard the mom like trying to shush the baby or comfort him or her. So I'm more more than angry. I'm more like I wish I could help, you know. And even though it was nighttime, like going back, I don't know. I feel like more people should at least feel like that, especially when someone is trying. It'd be different if someone was just on their phone and their kids were just yapping or loud crying and they weren't doing anything. That'd be totally different. And that's why I have the noise canceling headphones. Um, Also, it's my deadline for my Japanese vlogs. It's January 31st, and my goal was to record and release all my vlogs in January. That was my January goal. So I didn't have time to go home yet to record this, so I'm in a parking lot just trying to record and finish finish my goal. Um, let's see. I wrote some notes. Oh, what was I saying? So yeah, the trip pad was very fast. Right when I landed and I was getting my checked-in bags, I heard commotion, um, like a little bit in the distance. And I thought there was a fight going on, but I realized it's just I'm back in the place where there's loud, loud, loud Americans in public. They're just being rowdy, being noisy. No fight going on. Uh, so I guess I already missed part of Japan's behaved in public scene. I definitely miss Japanese bathrooms. Um, Even their faucets, their faucets are always at the perfect temperature. You just keep the knob at 40 degrees Celsius or whatever. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but it seems like that's the setting that they all go with. Uh, yeah, since then, I got back. I think I slept the next day for like 14 hours. And I don't know if that was because of jet lag or because of me catching up on so much sleep that I missed in Japan. Because everything's open so late, you want to wake up early. So I didn't get much sleep while I was there. Most days, most nights. Um, I found myself when I was driving. Uh, I don't get road rage really, but I do get annoyed at the bad driver sometimes, and that's the first time I felt it in like 2 weeks. When I was driving around, like, I haven't felt this feeling in 2 weeks, so maybe this little stress that I deal with daily, um, maybe at least I took a break from it on my trip to Japan. Uh, so yeah, that was me coming back, adjusting back home life. Of course, you're back from vacation, going back to work, but not too bad. So okay, so that was my whole trip, and then I wanted to review my expenses because that was a big. I think that's a big factor in all people planning their vacations. So my solo trip was about $3,000, and that was for 11 days, 10 nights, and that pretty much includes everything. Uh, my flight for Zip Air and my check-ins was 850, but that's because I wasn't smart about my check-ins, and also I ended up extending my stay, so I changed my flight. So if I didn't do that, my flight would have been like 650, less than 650. My hotels was less than $800, including the one capsule stay I did, which was like $32. But the rest, so I did the Ryokan too, which was the nice, fancy one with dinner and breakfast. Um, that was another one I did. So less than $800 for 10 nights, less than $80 a day. I think that's a good deal. I could have went cheaper, but I kind of wanted to play it safe and go with like safe mid-range hotels. If you're doing it for, my hotels were only good for 2 people though. So if you had more people or like people that take up a lot of room, my hotels are pretty small, which was perfect for me. But just yeah, $800 for 10 nights in decent sized, clean hotels. I think that's good stay, good deal. So 800 for that. For all my food and drink and alcohol, including like my splurges and like trading some friends to a few expensive meals. It was 450, which I don't think that's bad. Actually, I don't think that's bad at all. 450, less than like $40 a day, including like my fancy ones, my hotel, or my and like all the water I bought and the convenience store stuff I bought, the expensive sushi, like the Wagyu, um, and some place I went all you can drink. So yeah, that sounds like a good deal too. Looking back, thinking back, Um, for more of the travels, the bullet trains, I did it to Kyoto and back from Osaka to Tokyo. That and like my special buses and taxis, that was $220. Um, just the Shinkansen alone, the bullet train, I think that's like about $95 one way, or depending how far you go. So that's an expense to be aware of, especially if you're traveling in a group. Um, I'm not sure how. mm, I'm not sure how much I spent on the trains, like the normal subways through Tokyo, or the non-bullet train, because I would just tap my Suica card. Oh yeah, I still have my Suica card in my wallet, but you could put this on your phone. If you have an iPhone, you could just like digitalize, um, like tap it. But um, I was just tapping it on the scanner every time I was looking at the prices, um, because everything's like maybe $1 here to get to this station, like 70 cents to get to another station. It's like small amounts. And then also you could use your Suica card to buy vending machine stuff or stuff from stores sometimes, which I did. So I don't know how much I spent for travel exactly. I don't think it's that much. I spent $300 for all my pre-planned like tickets for Sumo, Disney, the Team Labs. There's way more stuff I can't think of. And the Sumo itself was like already $140 because since I didn't buy the tickets on the day of, or when they were released, I had to buy the tour included with it, which I thought was worth it. Which ended up being worth it. Um, so those are my tickets and like to get into places. I spent $400 on souvenirs and clothes and jackets because I planned to buy jackets while I was there, since I knew it was gonna be cold, and I knew I wanted to shop at Uniqlo because I wanted to see how much more, um, how much cheaper it was, which is a lot cheaper. Um, so yeah, and I bought a lot of souvenirs to take back. So that's how much I spent there, and I think that's it. I'm sure there's some stuff I missed, but that's like the majority of things. I know I could have saved $400 if I stayed in Tokyo and I didn't take the bullet train or go to Kyoto or Osaka, and I still would have had a good time in Tokyo because Tokyo is huge. It's not. There's so many different districts. It's pretty much like a state, and there's like a bunch of different cities and parts of it that could take care of any of your what you want to see. So you don't have to go to Kyoto or Osaka your first trip. And I feel like I could have, if I go back, I think I could like live decently on $40 a day. If I wanted to be like cheap, I could stay in a capsule hotel for like $17 a night, but I would have like a shared bathroom, shared shower. Um, $17 a night, and then like a few dollars for like close by trains, and then whatever else for food, which you could spend like $6 a day on food from the convenience stores because they're so good. You could just get like the Family Mart chicken or like egg salad sandwiches, or they have the whole like udon. There's fresh steamed like buns, and I wasn't brave enough to like, you could, maybe it's not like buffet style, but you could like pick up your own box of food of stuff they have cooking. So you could totally live off of that food for like $6 or $7 a day if you want it to be cheaper, play or live there inexpensively. Yeah, so I think if I went back for a week and I wanted to do it as cheaply as possible but still have a satisfying trip, I think I could do it for as low as $1,000, including a flight, and it would still be enjoyable. But I wouldn't do that. I would want to splurge. I don't want to buy stuff. I don't want to have some experiences. But I could, maybe if I have like $1,000 credit card that I could only use for in foreign places, I would do it for sure. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah. So I bought so much stuff. I came back with my extra luggage. I told you I bought an extra luggage so I could check it in on the way back. And I think I brought back something like 40 pounds of stuff. uh, I bought a couple jackets, a couple hoodies and shirts, and then like a bunch of souvenirs. Not even heavy ones. I don't know where all that weight came from. Oh, if you get souvenirs, definitely get Tokyo bananas. I had read one review that said they weren't good. They were just like Twinkies, like with a fake banana flavor, which I guess I could understand that, but they're more like if Twinkies were like used good ingredients and they tasted good and not chemically, and it tasted like real banana. I don't know. I just wish I would have bought more while I was there for souvenirs because I wish I bought a whole box for myself. So keep that in mind. Tokyo bananas. um, yeah, so that's how much I spent. Like about $3,000. And like I said, I could have done a lot cheaper. I could have saved, off the top of my head, I could have saved like $600 at least if I was just a little smarter. If I had planned it more than, like, I planned everything like within like 3 weeks of going, besides my flight, which I planned like a month and a half because it was a Cyber Black Friday deal. And then I got busy during Christmas, so I didn't plan until after Christmas. And then my trip was middle of July, so I didn't have that much time to think everything through. But that was my expenses. So I got some more numbers too. My steps per day was 22,000 a day, which is 10 miles. And my most steps was 33,000. I actually lost weight while I was over there. I was expecting to maybe gain like probably at least a few pounds because I was planning to eat a whole bunch of food, of course. Um, but I lost like 2 pounds because I was walking so much, and maybe because the food is just like whole food, less processed. Besides the times you saw me, like I drink like the vending machine foods, or that was just for you guys. But outside of that, I was eating like, I don't know if ramen's healthy, but it's not like junk food, I would say. Like sushi is like super good. There's only a couple times where I had more than the bowl of rice they gave you with, or they serve you. Um, oh man, just thinking back on that food, it's so good. Uh, yeah, so I walked so much I lost weight, but I slept under 6 hours a day, and maybe that's normal for me. Mm. So I don't know. Hopefully you get more sleep than me. I'm catching up on it now still, a few days later. My screen time was so like looking at my phone I spent 6.5 hours a day on it. And a lot of it was because when you're trying to find places, you're on your Google Maps, And like when you're in the train, you got to make sure you're on the right track. So like that was a lot of the time, and then just planning what to do next on my phone. I don't know if that's a lot. It sounds reasonable. I wasn't living on my phone, but it's important. Like I don't I needed to use it to translate stuff. Okay, so that's that. Mm, mm. Anyway, so should you go? Yes, and not just for like the food, obviously, because Japanese cuisine, like I think it's perfect. I could eat Japanese food every day. I don't think I'd ever get tired of it. Especially if like you could have sushi one day, you could have some teriyaki meat, something, some fried tempura, a katsu, curry, ramen, a whole bunch of different kinds of noodles. So obviously the food, but like there's old stuff, old buildings. Like you'd see temples, you could see modern skyscrapers. Uh, there's the activities like Disney Sea, Team Labs, all that stuff. You could just relax in the onsen hot spring. They have everything. Maybe the most besides like the location and the stuff they have. I think it's just the experience of like being in a high trust society, when everyone's like good manners and and you feel safe, and it's not. I didn't realize that was a because I'm always I feel like I'm always safe, but I have to be cautious depending where I go, like what time of day I go places. Of course, because you should be. But in Japan, like it's so much less of an issue. I feel like unless if maybe if you go through like the bad, not even bad districts, but um, I heard people try to like get you into their store and then maybe you'll get scammed. So don't. I heard this from multiple people and read it online. Just if someone is trying to get you into their store on the street, just say no to them. I think they're called touts, something like that. Um, so like no matter what it is, like if it's food, if it's like for like entertainment, like a bar, if they say like, oh, all you can drink 2,000 yen, you can't go in there because those are the I didn't experience it, but I know I've read and I've heard that those are like the only the bad things pretty much. Everything else is safe, and those are only like certain districts, maybe later at night. Besides that, you could leave your phone out in Starbucks. You could leave your bag out in stadiums. No one's gonna take it, and if someone does take it, the people around will snitch on them, or the security will be there. Um, just the overall vibe and the respectfulness, I think it's worth experiencing because um, the places I've been uh, hasn't been that welcoming, unless if you have tattoos. There's some like hotels and like spas that will reject you if you have visible tattoos, uh, because I guess it has something to do like with gangs, yakuza. Uh, but they probably understand if you're a foreigner and you have tattoos, but they might give you like a patch to cover stuff. So be aware of that if you're booking places. Let's try to have clothes that cover those if you can. What else did I gotta say? So yeah, you should visit, and then how to visit. I did Zip Air. If for so cheap. I bought my tickets for 500. I originally bought my tickets for $550 round trip, um, but that doesn't include a checked bag, and the weight limit for your carry-on bag is super low. But I would do it again. They give free Wi-Fi. I was watching Top Gun Maverick on my phone because they give like your phone connects to their Wi-Fi and it gives you like some movies you could watch. So I would fly them again. Maybe if depending on like the deal, if like another airline is like within 15% or 20% of them, maybe I'd go with other airline. But since Zip Air is so cheap, I would I would definitely do it again. And yeah, you could just buy water or snacks if you need it. They're not overpriced. You just gotta order through their app or their website. So you could buy like two waters, two snacks for $5, and instead of getting free water or like pretzels at another airline. That's the only difference. Their airplanes are newer. Like they have the regular sized seats. Um, their bathrooms have a bidet in them, and like the food. Yeah, just if you're used to like high class, I don't know. Maybe the front row people had better better accommodations, but I thought it was fine. I would fly them again. And if you go, I went during end of January, middle January, so that was the end of winter. But depending on which month you go, it could be hot there. It could be like 110 degrees. And I didn't know this before, but they have the seismic activity like, on the water. Like I guess it like puts water in the air, so the humidity during the hot seasons makes it a lot worse. So just be aware if you go during those times. I don't know what times you, but just research when you can go, just so you know. Uh, before you go, so like you booked your flight, you know when you're going. Before you go, here's the things you need to do before you go. You need to get an eSIM or a way for your phone to have service. Maybe you could pay your provider to like open up international data. But I used an eSIM and I used Airalo, AIRALO, and I spent $18 for 10 gigabytes of data. I ended up using only half of that. So for $18 to have data on my phone, and it was so easy, I would recommend that. There's other providers, but I'm just giving you what I did. So you need to do that. If you want to book a hotel, you should look on Google first for hotels, and then it might be cheapest to book it on Agoda or Booking.com. For almost all of mine, or for all of mine, because like the prices were the cheapest, I booked everything through Agoda, the app, AGODA, and I had no problems with that at all. Not at all. And if you want to know where you want to go, where you should stay, a good tip is if you like have a Google map and mark the locations, put pins down on everywhere you want to visit. So I went to Disney Sea, I went to Team Labs, I went to Ichiran Ramen, a bunch of places in Tokyo, and then you could look like, oh, all these pins around here, so it's probably a good idea to stay here in this area. But even if not, anywhere in Tokyo, you could get anywhere else through the train station super easy. Just, it'd be better if you're, wherever you stay, as long as it's kind of close to a train station. Like when my last few days when I was 4 minute walk from the Ueno station, that made everything easier. If I wanted to go to Shibuya, Shinjuku, anywhere, I could just walk to the station in 4 minutes. And compared to some hotels, they might be like a 12-minute walk, and that walk includes like going down the stairs to the subway station, like actually getting in there. Or so, yeah, that's the more important thing than your area. Um, you could book stuff through Klook, Klook. That's how I got like a lot of my tickets, like Disney Sea tickets. Disney Sea was only 50 something dollars, $52. Um, Team Labs I bought from the website directly. The apps you'll need are Google Maps, and you should download the local offline map. So if you happen to lose signal, like at least you have some idea of where you are. Also for the Google Translator app, like download the English to Japanese and Japanese to English packs. I also had a converter app, so I easily knew how much yen meant to dollars or the other way, so I knew how much I was spending. Because if someone says, "Oh, 30,000 yen for this," like, what does that mean? Which, how much is 30,000 yen? $200? Let me use my app and show you. So 30, oh wait, 30, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 30,000 yen would be, oh, I got an ad. $193 is what it said though. Okay, let me close this. So yeah, that's a good app to have. Maybe you should download Duolingo so you learn some Japanese a little bit. I only finished the first lesson, so the first section, so I didn't learn that much, but I could say some words to some people. I asked for some things in Japanese once in a while. So next time I go, I'm definitely going to learn more. So yeah. Apps. Some restaurants might require you to like use the Line app, but I never did that. Yeah, so that's what apps you might need. Yeah, so what's next? When you arrive, so you arrive, you land on the plane. What did I do? The first thing, like even when you're on the plane, you could test your eSIM on your phone to make sure you have data. That's number one. Even though a lot of places have free Wi-Fi, but data is important because you need to have the maps. It's super important. So do that. Then you could change cash. You could do a currency exchange if you have some cash at the airport. I only did like a couple $100 just because I felt like I had to have the local currency in case something happened. But if you wanted more money, you should wait until you could go to 7-Eleven and you could withdraw from your bank. And that'll be like the cheapest fees and best conversion rate for your bank. Yeah, 7-Eleven like offers the best in general. I'm sure there's like sometimes other places might be better, but 7-Elevens are everywhere. They're easy. So yeah. Also at the airport, or at least Narita Airport, it's connected to the station, and then you could get your Welcome to Suica card. And this thing was like as important as my passport. I wish I had one of those like card carrying things attached to my belt because you use it so much for tapping into getting to the trains. You could buy stuff. You could buy stuff from the vending machines. The bus takes it, depending on what bus you take. Uh, so yeah, get your welcome to Suica card. Um, I didn't I didn't do it, but you should probably consider, if you have a lot of luggage, you could consider like the luggage transport service because they could transport it to your hotel for you. If I had a lot of luggage and I knew if I was ready to do that, if I researched more, I would have done that when I was going back. Because navigating the train station your first time with big luggage, more than one thing, I couldn't. That'd be tough. That'd be a nightmare for me, especially if you happen to land during a rush time. So you might want to look into that, depending on how much you bring. And then, so you got your Suica card, and then as long as you got in your hotel, you're free. Just do whatever. Be free. Don't be afraid of the train. You get anywhere in Tokyo, as long as you have data and battery, you're fine. You could get off anywhere and explore. I wish I would have done that. If you forgot to pack anything, you could easily buy it from the Don Quixote stores or the Mega Donkey stores. It's like it's disrespectful to compare to Walmart, but it's just like a big store that has everything for like inexpensive. Good for souvenirs. Oh, definitely make sure you bring deodorant because they don't have deodorant in Japan. Uh, luckily, I didn't need it, but I was looking for deodorant a few times because one day I forgot to wear it, and all they have is like a perfume smell kind of thing, not very strong. So I didn't buy it, but yeah, make sure you bring your deodorant if you need that, especially if you're someone that sweats a lot. um, definitely bring an external battery or two. Um, maybe it's good to have a passport holder or like some bag. I always have to carry my either my backpack or like my half strap backpack. Um, but if I had something smaller just to hold my passport, because you need it all the time. If you buy anything, if you ever want to buy something for tax free, which is 10% off in Japan, which you should always do, you would need your passport so they could scan it. So, yeah, if you're ever thinking of buying something, you always need your passport on you. What else to pack? Noise canceling headphones always. Any flight, especially a long flight where you might sleep. Okay, so that's what to bring. What else? What else did I write? I was gonna talk about must do things, but do I have must do things? It's more just the experience of whatever you want to do. I definitely suggest staying at a ryokan, which is like the Japanese traditional room where like even your bed is on like just like a mattress on the tatami mats, and you have the sliding doors, like traditional, and then usually they have or they should have like a dinner set like of local ingredients, maybe a breakfast one too. Oh man, those were good for me. The miso soup they served me, it had a crab in it, and it tasted so good. Oh man, that was definitely the best miso soup I've ever had. A lot of good things. So that's a sashimi in mine, but yours might be different. Um, yeah, that's just a ryokan. You can get your fortune at a temple. That's something that you should probably just do, just to at least say you've done it. The onsen hot spring, a lot of people love that. I loved it. If I had more access to that, I would do it pretty often just to relax and not be all wound up. Karaoke, Disney Sea, the karaoke is next level. So if you like to sing, or if you can't sing even, in those rooms, at least the big Echo rooms, which is the store I went to, they make you sound good. So I'd recommend that. Even all you can drink in there. Um, Team Labs, you could do. You could do the bullet train to somewhere. Ichiran, all the restaurants. You could go to a maid cafe if you're into that kind of stuff. I didn't try it. Most of like the things a lot of like must do's for me was just like to try all the different foods. I like Japanese food, so I wrote down to try like the sushi, yakiniku, like the barbecue grill, wagyu ramen. I talked about earlier, like the Family Mart chicken, all the foods from convenience stores, vending machines, all the ice cream from vending machines, fresh squeezed orange juice. Yeah, there's just so many things. Like pretty much everything I did that I talked about most things. I would do it all again. The two things that I would not ever do again is Tokyo Tower, just because um, I went when it wasn't busy, but still the lines to get up and down is crazy. And to get down from there, there's only one elevator. And so you have to go all the way to the top of the tower, and then you have to wait in a huge line at the very top whenever you're done looking. And you're just waiting, and you got to squeeze into this tiny elevator, and there's only one of them to bring you from the top down, and like 10 people squeeze into it. And it's maybe if I was having one of those weird days, I could have been claustrophobic, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially after I visited Skytree a few days later, and just it like blew it out of the water. So if you go up anything, maybe Skytree is what's the good one. So yeah, I wouldn't do Tokyo Tower, and I wouldn't get McDonald's. I tried to get one like American thing to compare like here and there, and like the Japanese specialty, but at least the one in the airport, oh, that I wish I didn't. I wish I would have left it up to mystery. It was bad, but I talked about that. My two no's that I did all Japan for 11 days. Those are my two things that I would take back. Everything else I would do again. I would do literally the same exact trip again. Sumo, man, that was cool. Um, yeah, I would do everything again. Um, what else did I gotta say? If you go there, just make sure you have good manners. Even in the trains, the announcements tell you to like put your phone on silent. If you have to take a call, do it like at least not on the train. Do it like in the side, like between the cars. It says like not to talk loudly. Maybe you could whisper. Um, don't litter, which might be hard for you. Might be hard because they don't have trash cans. Nowhere in public is a trash can. So if you have garbage, you got to take it with you until the next time you go in 7-Eleven or something. So have a plastic bag in your backpack if you have something to throw away, or just don't eat in public, because I didn't see that very often. Maybe that might be a rude thing to do. I don't know. Maybe. Um, their bathrooms, they don't have. A lot of the public ones don't have soap, and most of them don't have paper towels or the hand dryers, the blowers. So you're supposed to bring like a rag to wipe your hands yourself to dry them off. I don't know why they don't have soap though. Maybe it's just hard to maintain. Maybe they don't even have cleaners go in them because Japanese people clean up after themselves. I don't know. That would make sense. Um, mm, what else? Yeah, and that's Japan. That's my whole review. Do I have anything? I hope you go. I hope I go again. I hope I see you there. I can't wait to go again, honestly. Uh, so next for me, I started this channel to help me. The whole reason I made this channel was because this year I wanted to have goals that I would different goals that I would try to accomplish every month. So my first one was to like start a vlog. Even like in January, I was gonna start a vlog and I do my solo trip, and that's why I'm recording this video last minute for the end of January. And that was that goal. Um, my first Japan trip, my first trip to Asia, solo, and so I'm checking that off. And I got my vlogs released. I might record or like cut some footage together just so I could have one of those professional ones with like the full trip in one video with music. I might learn how to do that in the future. But for next month, I'm gonna change it a little bit. I'm gonna still upload some Japan stuff, but for February, my goal is to like go all in on fitness and weight loss. Um, that was my plan, but seeing everyone in Japan so fit and healthy, like it's extra motivation. Like no one's overweight there. Most of the only people I saw that were more had more of a double chin than me were like foreigners. So like yeah, that made me like, oh, let me focus even more than I was planning to. So I'm gonna go all in on February, like with my diet and exercise. And I've lost weight before. I've been healthy before. I ran half marathons. I've ran walked a full marathon before. So I know I could do it. But yeah, for the February, which starts tomorrow, I'm gonna take it serious for the 4 weeks, which I'm not worried about. And then I'll try to vlog that, and then not vlog the whole thing, but at least at the very end, I'll do like a before and after February. So that's my goal. Then maybe March we'll have like guitar music or some. I don't know my next mission yet. Yeah, and that's that. My Japan trip was amazing, and I can't wait to go back. When I go back, I'll be in better shape. I'll learn more. I'll learn more Japanese. Maybe I'll upload more footage from my last trip or edit. But my next main priority is my February goals, which is my fat to fit February. I gotta come up with a name tomorrow because that's gonna release tomorrow. And so I'm gonna do that February, and I hope you'll join me for that too. And see you in February.